Hey guys, Marsinger here, bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so we know at this point that the part 2 LR for this celebration is going to be about a week or so away. I made a video the other day going over the information that we have so far and sort of indicating towards when that would be that the part 2 LR drops. So if you haven't seen that, do go check it out. And in that video we did do a little bit of speculating about who the unit could be. I will do a proper big video in the future. I'll make a post and get your guys' feedback on who you want to see as the part 2 LR and maybe make a video going over that. But someone did mention in the stream last night, there's been a couple of people talking about the idea for this particular character. I mean, there's no reason for me to try and keep it as a surprise, right? It's going to be in the thumbnail and the title. But the question is, could we see a Wrathful Broly or Akari Broly, Fury Broly? Has a few different like names. Obviously, Dokkan refers to him as Wrathful Broly. Could we see Wrathful Broly as the part 2 LR for this celebration? Now, this is a unit or a character that we've talked about a lot in the last few years, because he is a unit that when it comes to characters from the Broly movie, obviously we've had different iterations now of both Gogeta and the Super Saiyan to like full power Broly, but still to this day we still only have this one Wrathful Broly in the game, who came out like way back when we first got our celebration themed around the Broly movie. And of course they made the very interesting decision, which at the time was kind of cool, I guess, because it made him, you know, seem quite powerful. He was good for a decent amount of time, but they easy aid him like straight away on release. Now, obviously, we've talked about that over the years as well, especially when it comes to like free-to-play units. It definitely would have been much better for them to just make him really good. Like, he should have just been his post-EZA form on release, and then they could have easy aid him later on to give him that second lease of life, which obviously he can never get because he's already got an EZA. When it comes to super EZAs, we know that they've said that they're only for the time being starting with Dokkan Fest exclusives and LRs. So this guy being a random banner unit, like you can pull this guy on any banner. So this guy being a random banner unit, like even if they do decide to start super EZAing like banner units at some point, there's probably plenty of them in line before this guy. So he's never going to see an update again, essentially, this unit. So I think it would be cool to get a new one for sure. It's something that we've talked about quite a lot, because I think as a dual Dokkan Fest, whether it be for a big celebration like an anniversary or maybe even Tanabata Part 1 or 2, could even be New Year's Golden Week, any sort of dual setup, right? I think a new Wrathful Broly alongside with a God Vegeta would be really cool, because God Vegeta is in the exact same position where he only has the one card in the game. And whilst he didn't get his EZA straight away on release, when they gave the EZAs to him and the Tech God Goku, well, I mean, let's just say there's a reason why there are memes about how every time there's like a Goku and Vegeta release at the same time, more often than not, the Vegeta unit is the one that just absolutely gets shafted and the Goku is so much better. And this is a prime example of that, right? When these two got their EZAs, Goku became like the ultimate must-run tank against all movie boss and Pure Saiyan enemies. And then this guy, I mean, what does he get against movie bosses or Pure Saiyans? A great chance to stun. Now you think about, you put those two things on a scale, a great chance to stun versus like 70% damage reduction or something. Like Goku just became a must run for like a bunch of the red zone stages, and Vegeta just wasn't even that good, like even on EZA, which is super disappointing. So I really want to see a new God Vegeta, but he doesn't have to necessarily come packaged with a Wrathful Broly, whilst I think that would be a cool like dual Dokkan Fest. Wrathful Broly is certainly an interesting one, considering just how unrepresented he is in the game. And so obviously the reason why I had this page up at the beginning is because mission execution is the new category that we've got with the release of Mercenary Tau, and it's an interesting category. There's some characters on it that are a little bit confusing potentially, because I feel like the game has taken some real liberties of what the definition of a mission is. Obviously we know like Tau being an assassin, Hit being an assassin, like these kind of make sense. The Ginyu Force and a bunch of the Frieza minions, they're all taking orders from Frieza, so that makes a lot of sense. But like Pycon being on the category is kind of weird. Like I guess he like gets told to, you know, he needs to beat Goku in the other world tournament in the filler, but it doesn't really come across as like a mission, right? And then you've also got a bunch of the random heroes characters. The Time Patrol characters being on there makes a lot of sense. A bunch of the random Demon Realm characters being on there, but not all of them, is also really confusing. So this category is kind of weird when it comes to the who should be on the category and who shouldn't for a lot of people. But because we are focusing on a lot of characters here that are taking orders from Frieza, we do have both Wrathful Broly and the Broly and Paragus card from the Broly movie are on mission execution. Now that's actually something that I didn't think about until today, setting up to make this video, because remember, Paragus and Broly, they got their Easy A during previous anniversary, and on release their Easy A, like on paper it was actually pretty good. The problem was the fact that they literally only had 2 categories at the time, which was Joined Forces and Pure Saiyans, whereas obviously now they also have mission execution. Now, their base effect is they do only support Pure Saiyans and Joined Forces allies, so it's not like you can throw them on a Mercenary Tau team and they'll actually be good. But they could be like relatively decent, especially, I guess to be fair, they're only going to get a 170 lead from Tau. It's unlikely that if they drop a Part 2 LR, that they would have mission execution as a leader skill, but that would be interesting because we saw with the release of PyCon, Part 2 Yellow Coin LRs do now have 2 leader skills, 200% leads. So imagine if Broly was like mission execution and then something else, right, like Exploding Rage. I mean, if it was Pure Saiyans, that would actually be kind of crazy, but yeah, it'd be very interesting to see these guys. I don't know if with the post 10th anniversary power creep, that even on like a new full team, whether these guys would actually be good enough or not. But it's kind of interesting that they finally got a 3rd category. But the other thing that could be very interesting for Wrathful Broly, and we talked about this in the video yesterday, I made a video talking about how obviously we're kind of anticipating the release of Daima Super Saiyan 4 Goku, whether it be the adult version or the mini version. We'll surely be seeing that soon in Dokkan, we can hope. Global Dokkan campaign is what a lot of people are hanging their hopes on. It seems crazy to me to wait until January for like the 11th anniversary to bring the big guns from Daima into the game. But as we talked about in yesterday's video, that's going to be an interesting buffs and future for the Giant 8 power team, which Wrathful Broly is also on, right? Which is very interesting because, you know, it's that one line of dialogue from Paragus, right? That in this form, it's like Broly using the power of a great ape, but in human form, which led a lot of people to speculate about, like, you know, is Broly going to make like Super Saiyan 4 canon for Dragon Ball Super? Is it going to be like a unique thing for Broly? Obviously, in the continuation of the manga for Super, for those of you who don't know, like that sort of thing has not happened yet. Broly has essentially just learned to like control his Super Saiyan form, whilst we've got everybody else doing all this crazy stuff like Ultra Ego Vegeta, UI Goku versus Beast Gohan in a sparring match and all that kind of stuff. So no Super Saiyan 4 in Super as of yet, but Wrathful Broly is a Giant 8 power character. Now, he doesn't have Saiyan Raw, but if we are going to get a bunch of buffs to that category coming up in the next month or so with the release of the Global Dokkan campaign and the Daima Super Saiyan 4 Gokus, either or, and I guess we'll get, you know, whether we get mini or adult, we'll get the other one at some point after that anyway. With Giant 8 power getting a bunch of potential buffs incoming, another big Giant 8 power release that's actually good would definitely be very beneficial for that team, because that's the thing for this guy. For the mission execution team as it stands now, I did a video again yesterday, probably like my favorite build of that team, and it's kind of like Tau, the Ginyu units, Hit can be on there, so like Broly doesn't really fit in with those characters, but similarly to PyCon, right, if he had some ability where he is buffing mission execution characters, whether it's just standard support, whether it's damage reduction, multi-turn support, like all that kind of stuff, that could be very, very interesting, especially because if he's giving that support to all allies, it means when we do get those future buffs for Giant 8 power, or even when it comes to things like Pure Saiyan teams and stuff like that, you can throw him on these other teams and he's still going to be very, very good. So I think this could be very interesting. Let me know what you guys think. I do think, however, like as much as I would love to see this and see a new Wrathful Broly come to the game, I don't feel like the Part 2 LR for this celebration in particular is the best fit, right? Even though he is on mission execution and it is finally a new category for him, as I said, he doesn't really fit well with the other characters on the team. And whilst I would love to see it, I don't think it necessarily fits perfectly well in this time slot. I still think it would be awesome to get these guys as a dual Dokkan Fest, but I guess we will have to wait and see. So, like I said, I'll make a proper post at some point in the future and let you guys know, both in the Discord and on the community tab here, that I'm taking your guys' feedback for who would you like to see for a Part 2 LR, and we'll make a proper big video about that. But you can get started right now and let me know in the comments of this video, what do you think of Wrathful Broly being the Part 2 LR for this celebration? Who would you like to see? Because again, like, it doesn't even necessarily, as we've seen many times in previous celebrations, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a mission execution character. It could be something completely random for all we know. Obviously, we've talked about the possibilities of Ginyu Force, like Ginyu Goku, being a big buff for the Ginyu Easy A's. There's a lot of possibilities, so let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.